All right, so I think the stream thinking about things ready to go though. So hello everybody, Mega Zardex here. Back at it again to give y'all another very exciting podcast episode. That'd be my ZardCast episode 93. And now I'm looking at the list of topics we got to go through and talk about tonight. You can definitely tell we're wrapping this year up because believe it or not, I think I only had about three pop culture things and I think three gaming topic related discussions though. So I was like, we'll still find ways to fill up the show and stuff, and that actually allows me to squeeze in other segments of the show, such as like what we've been watching and stuff, things that I had to put on the wayside because we just had too much to talk about though. But Steven, how's your week been going?
Week's been going good. I've been kind of finalizing just moving and everything. Got a nightstand doing got this, got that. Just everything's kind of almost done unpacking really. Kind of just finally settled in. And besides that, work's been going good. I got a raise, which is nice right before the holidays. I can save up a lot. Because we'll talk about it, but Black Friday wasn't kind to my wallet.
Man, I was going through and buying quite a bit of stuff myself though. But I'd say this Black Friday had some pretty good deals, and we'll get to that when we get to it though. But outside of that, you know, we're just going through the holidays and stuff like that. And overall, I said I had a pretty good solid week for the most part though. So in terms of a little bit of a preview of what we have slated out at least for here tonight, um, we definitely got to talk about Thanksgiving or holiday stuff. Obviously, the Black Friday sales stuff. Sonic 3 managed to get another trailer, and I think it's technically the last major trailer we'll get
Yeah.
before the launch of that movie. So we got to talk about that. And in terms of gaming stuff, pretty light. We're gonna talk about Donkey Kong Land 1 and 2. This whole shoot. I got some stuff to say about them couple of games though. And then apparently Sony's in like early development of a handheld. So we'll give our thoughts and discussions on that. And then obviously the big major talking point for tonight will be us is going through all the Game Award nominees and figuring out exactly, where feel like most of the votes will probably go towards and who will probably win the nominees between me and Steven. We're gonna see if we can go through between both of us, see if we can go through and predict everything and see what actually is gonna win. Like we'll give our own personal picks, but then we'll see what we predict will probably win each category though. So outside of that, not too much of a heavy night though. So we might as well go ahead and jump up in it though. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight up into that pop culture segment. All right, Steven. So we're right off the heels of Thanksgiving, literally by like what Friday, Saturday, like 3 days or something. It's weird because you know how the Thanksgiving usually falls, and for us over here in America, it usually falls on the fourth Thursday of November, and most of the time there's like the way how the Thursdays line up there will be at least one more week of November before you roll into December. But nah, man, we were having Thanksgiving 3 days before Christmas, so this turnaround has been a little bit of a whiplash moment, though. But were you doing any good eating on that day?
So I'm a bit of a picky eater, but decided to try just a couple of different things for Thanksgiving. I had pasta for the first time.
That in and of itself is wild. The fact you have not ever had pasta
I don't
before.
know.
I don't. You've been missing out, man. Like whole shoot between
I
lasagna,
know.
chicken Alfredo, and stuff, tortellini
Pot
base. Like, good gracious.
Yeah, the pasta was good though. I did like the pasta. Besides that, um, I had a chocolate pecan pie, which was also my first pie.
Okay, okay. Wait, you said first pie was a chocolate
Yeah,
pecan pie?
yeah, it was
Oh
good.
my goodness. All right. All right. Anything else good you were eating? Or those are
I
like the highlights?
didn't think of much now.
Okay. All right. Well, at least for me, my parents and most of like my siblings and stuff, they went to my grandparents for Thanksgiving. I would have gone there with them had I not had to work the day before Thanksgiving and the day after Thanksgiving. There was no way I was driving 5 hours to hit the bottom of the state and then roll up another 5 hours to get back up here. So I was like, no, I'll just miss y'all this year though. But instead, I was bouncing around between my aunts and uncles' houses. I'll go to one house one and the other one. So like I went to one of my uncles and aunt's house first, and they had lunch around 12:30 or something like that, which worked out pretty good. And then after that, then I rolled to my other aunts and uncles immediately right after that. I didn't have a completely full belly at that point though. But then I went to them. Obviously, I had a little bit of a lighter lunch or dinner, whatever you want to call it, after that, since I already ate a good amount from the first time though. But at least at house number one, highlights I would say was probably the turkey. Like my uncle actually smoked the turkey itself. It's like a smoked turkey breast. It's not like the traditional turkey leg that I usually would call dibs on. It, if I was with my other side of my family and stuff though. So I would consider that as a highlight. Dessert wise, you can't go wrong with a pecan pie. I feel like that's the go-to dessert you have to have at every single Thanksgiving meal. It's either that or sweet potato pie. Not much of a
It's
pumpkin
good.
pie. Have you had pumpkin pie before?
I've never had pumpkin, and that's the
Okay.
end of the sentence.
You know what? I don't blame you on that one. You can stay away from the pumpkin pie, but instead of doing
Hey,
pumpkin pie, do sweet potato pie.
oh,
That's where it's at.
it smells good. I just am weird with food, and I've never tried it.
I don't know, like pumpkin related stuff is okay, but it's like if you get too strong in the pumpkin flavor, that's what throws me off. I'm like, ooh. So yeah, that's why we usually, or at least my family, we usually stick with sweet potato related stuff. And then at house number two, I will say the highlight was the mac and cheese and the way how my aunt makes her rolls. Like they're made from scratch and they're always good. And it seems like she always pop those suckers out around the holiday season and stuff, whether it be Thanksgiving or sometimes Christmas. And every now and then we might get treated with them though, but it takes a lot of work for her to make that stuff though. So yeah, I would say that those are some of the personal highlights. And then obviously once my parents and stuff and my siblings and stuff, they made it back within town. Of course, they had to drop off and give me some of the sweets that they made down there. So I was going through having like some caramel cake. They brought back some more pecan pie and a few other things here and there though. And oh, and they brought back a chocolate pecan pie, what you basically ate too. So I gotta try that out. Look, I got a lot of desserts. Like I had my birthday like a few weeks ago and stuff. I still got ice cream cake in my freezer and such. And then also I feel like there's some. Oh, and then they also managed to get like a lemon pie from one of my other aunts. I think they managed to stop by and get some. So it's like I got food all over the house, is what I'm saying though,
It
and I'm
sounds
slowly
like
been
it,
chipping
yeah.
away. Oh man, but overall, it was some good eating this Thanksgiving. Pretty good. You didn't eat so much that you passed out on the couch, did you?
No, did you?
No, I have to hold myself back. I'm usually one of those people where it's like I would eat so much, it'll be I'll sit in the chair where I'm at the table for like an additional 30 minutes after I'm done eating. Then I will slowly would make my way to the couch. And then before I know it, either the couch or the bed, but usually the couch. And then I'll close my eyes for a second. I'll wake back up. And this would have been us eating at like around 1:30 ish. And I normally wouldn't wake up until like 5 or 6. And I'll be like, oh my gosh. But no, I held back a little bit this year. I didn't pop the belly. The belly stayed on. I didn't have to worry about tightening the belt, nothing. I was good.
Cool.
Oof. But yeah, outside of that, pretty solid Thanksgiving. Pretty good. Pretty good. Anything else you wanted to say on that?
No, I had fun. I was hanging out, hung out with family, this and that.
Okay.
My job was crazy.
The fact
That's
that you have to
probably
work Thanksgiving Day says a lot right there.
I have to work all major holidays, or I do not get my full-time bonus.
Oh, good night. You just got to take a hit on one of those days, man. My goodness.
I I would, but like I like money.
I like money too, though, but like you got to have the R&R to balance
That
out with the
no,
money.
that's completely fair, but that Christmas bonus can basically almost pay for what I spent on Christmas.
Okay, I can see
That's
that.
that's the way I see it.
Alrighty. Well, with that being said, I think that was basically all our plans for Thanksgiving. I hope everybody else has been going through and listening to this one episode or any of my videos. I hope you had a happy holidays, whether you celebrate Thanksgiving or not. I just hope you had a good day or happy holidays, and hopefully you ate pretty good at least within the past few days between what you ate on Thanksgiving Day and any of the other days after it in terms of like the leftovers and stuff. Because you be eating that stuff for about 3 days or something before it's all gone, or at least until you throw it all in your freezer one way or the other. But all right, so outside of that, let's move to the next topic because we managed to get another trailer, and it should technically be the last trailer for the Sonic 3 movie. I'm looking forward to this. This movie's coming out on December 20th, the same day also as, like that live action Lion King and stuff. And I know my family and stuff, at least around the holidays time, they like to see something in the theater, so I'll probably watch that movie too. But at least with the Sonic movie, I'll probably watch that maybe with my brother or my cousin or something like that. We'll just probably get a group of people together when our schedules align and watch this though. But I'm really looking forward to this though. And Steven, when you were watching this trailer, did anything just scream at you? Anything that you were just like you're just totally not expecting?
I was not expecting. I was not expecting. I expected that we were gonna see the arc. I did not expect we were gonna actually see the Eclipse cannon.
I feel like they were gonna show it, but I didn't think they were gonna like blast it or like we got like a little
Yeah,
small glimpse of that. Like that feels
which
like
like
the climax of the movie, really,
yeah,
at that
and
point.
it looks like they're fighting on like this barren wasteland at the end of that trailer. I don't know what that is. At the end of that trailer, it's like this volcanic area that they're fighting in Sonic and Shadow. It looks really cool. I'm excited for this movie. I am. I just, I think it's really interesting about like Gerald Robotnik being like in it
Hmm.
and still being alive, which I'm sure they'll
That that
explain.
that's been throwing me for a loop though too. Because at first when I saw him, I was just thinking in the back of my mind like, oh, this is gonna be flashbacks. That makes perfect sense, right? Like with
Yeah,
the
but he,
SA2 games. But then the second that you had Jim Carrey basically playing both roles and talking to his grandfather like that, I'm like, wait, what the heck?
well, yeah, they're like scheming together.
And I'm like, what kind of weird time travel non-dead man? I don't know what they're doing up in here, but I'm curious to see what twist they're trying to put up on this script. But
I'm sure that they're doing something interesting, but I am happy to see like the arc and the Eclipse cannon.
see now, and I'm surprised they didn't say this over that. I mean, I was expecting the arc and stuff and the canon, but like, man, you didn't even talk about the obvious thing in the room. I had this thing up on the screen right now. Shadow freaking holding a gun, man. I didn't think they're gonna go that far.
I thought it spoke for itself. I thought I didn't have to mention how cool it was because it just exudes coolness.
Now, that was a personal highlight, I would say, in that
If
whole
the
entire
listen,
trailer.
if the movie can do it, then there's no excuse for why he can't hold one in the main games anymore.
Mm, yeah, but I
No
mean
reason.
that's not like the I would say the selling point of it though. But uh, I'm curious to see how many different references they'll make. Obviously the SA2, but then also maybe some stuff here and there with Shadow the Hedgehog, which
Yeah,
that was like our first glimpse of it, I guess,
I
in this
will.
trailer right here.
I really hope that there's live and learn at least somewhere in it in the movie.
I mean, they technically, well, I don't know if it was Live
Like,
and Learn, but it was like one of the game. No, the menu select theme in the first trailer. There was a remix of it in the trailer
no, it was
music.
live and learn. There was like
Was
an
it Live and Learn?
orchestral.
I thought
There
I
was
heard
an
the
or.
title select thing.
No, there was an. Well, the title select in SA2 is live and learn.
Well, no, I meant
Zard.
the way how it was kind of. I don't know. It
It
felt more
it
like a
is the
title screen.
exact same
Well, probably because
song.
it didn't have the lyrics up in it.
Yeah,
That's
it's
what, because at the very ending of the trailer, where they pop up the letters of the Sonic logo with
yes,
the three and
that
stuff,
that was
that
live and
part just
learn.
reminded me of the title sequence stuff.
I don't know. That's just really funny to me.
I don't know.
Like,
I got two different vibes for that thing though, because it's when you listen
well,
to
I'm
like a
just
track of music and it's like the what was it the not the lyric version and the instrumental version, those always feel like two different songs for
no,
me for the
that's
most
fair and
part.
all, but I am just letting you know, and it is live and learn.
Okay. But anyway, outside of that, I'm still looking forward to this movie. Like every time they keep showing it, I think it keeps getting better and better. And I still have to remind myself how good that Sonic 2 movie was in comparison to the first one. And if the 3 holds up to the same regard as 2, obviously you got Shadow up in this mess now and Eggman's grandpa and stuff up in it, though. I'm like, it should be really good. Now all we got to do is basically start off this movie right and have Sonic running down the street with the gun truck chasing him or something like. We got to have that play out at least somewhere in the movie. Somewhere. It might not be at the very beginning, but it got to be somewhere.
Yeah, I would love. Well, they can't really do the plot about like Shadow framing Sonic. Like Sonic being framed and arrested.
Oh no, yeah, they
It
can't
looks
do
like it's
that.
it's it's the opposite. He's working with the government to help Shadow.
Yeah, I mean you got to make it different. You can't have everything be one, especially I
Yeah,
guess with the way how they did the previous movies. Like not everything is going to line up
yeah,
just right.
especially just having more human characters that actually matter. Not having Amy, not having a Rouge.
Dang, Rouge the Bat though. Maybe for the fourth movie, maybe.
Like I think, well, no, I definitely think that Amy is gonna be like teased or something for the next movie. They did say they already confirmed. One of the directors confirmed. Yeah, well, one of the people working on it confirmed that there's gonna be like an end credits tease of a character.
I feel like Amy would be the next one up.
It'd be the most. She would make the most sense. Only
Hmm
other one I could think is like Metal Sonic. Like Eggman's cooking up a new scheme and it cuts the Metal Sonic.
Yeah, I can see him going down the CD road after
I
this.
would like that. Well, yeah. Well, the CD road would also lead to Amy.
Yeah.
If, who knows though? Honestly, I liked a lot of moments in that trailer. I like everything involving Keanu Reeves as Shadow. I think he fits so well.
Yeah. So I think what was it? So we said the movie comes out on the 20th. So technically, oh, I'm looking at the podcasts and stuff, and I think the next time we'll talk about it in the sense of us both watching the movie, it probably won't be in 2024. It'll probably be the first podcast episode we'll have of 2025 is when we'll talk about it. Unless I do a special one-off episode on the side. But in terms of the podcast and us talking about it, it won't be until 2025, the first episode of the year, when you'll hear our thoughts on it though. But I'm really looking forward to it though. And it should be a good time. You going for any of that Sonic merch they're gonna be selling up in the theaters?
What kind of stuff have they confirmed? Like just like
I
cups and
think for
stuff.
AMC they got like a Sonic head bucket. They got like some kind of a water bottle like thing. You have to look it up. It's hard to describe
I
without
will
you
at
actually
my
looking
local.
at it.
I have a local Regal Cinemas, and I don't know if they're gonna do any special popcorn bucket, but they usually always do a special cup. So if anything, I'll get the special cup.
And I feel like for that kind of stuff, if you're not there on day one, it usually sells out. And I
Oh
feel like
yeah,
that
definitely.
happened quite a bit for some other movies I cared about, and I was just curious about it, and there just literally was nothing. But alrighty, well, outside of that, the movie's looking promising, and we'll keep you updated on our thoughts whenever we happen to sit down and watch the movie. Not too much further to go. Not too much further to go. All right. And as for the last pop culture segment thing we're going to talk about, which technically will be like our transition into all of the gaming and stuff we have, is all of these stinking Black Friday deals. Like, oh my goodness. So I feel like in terms of us talking about this is like Black Friday slash Cyber Monday. Cyber Monday is literally gonna happen tomorrow for us at the time of this recording. But I figure the best way we can handle it between us two is we'll talk about our pickups first, and then we'll just talk about things that just were on sale in general. It might be games that we already own, but like stuff that we might notice that might be a good jumping off point for somebody to pick up.
You might know more about that than me, yeah, because
Oh
I
no,
didn't
yeah,
really
I've been
do
keeping
that.
in the loop. This is the I don't normally like to shop, but when it comes to electronics and games and stuff like that, sign me up. This is my time of the year. All right, so what was the first thing you managed to grab?
I'm pulling up my Amazon thing. One second. Um, because I did get a lot, so I can't really remember everything. So
Now, was
here's what
some
I
of it
got.
just for you, or some
Yeah.
of it was also gifts?
Oh, so most of this was for me.
Okay.
First thing was the Elgato Wave 3 microphone, which is what you're hearing now. It's just a little echoey in here, but yeah, got a new microphone. I really wanted to get that just to, just for multiple reasons.
Now, how much
Got
did that normally cost?
it normally costs like it usually costs 150, and I got it for well, how much did I get it for? Does it show on here? Let me see.
It's the most important thing with Black Friday, it's the
I got
savings.
it for 118.
Okay,
That was with
not
that
too
was
shabby.
with
That's like
tax.
what, 32 bucks off?
Yeah, no, it
Almost
was good.
about 20% off? That's not bad.
No, it was not bad. Yeah. I got a drawing tablet stand. I have a drawing tablet. I got a metal stand for it. That's just stand it up.
Mhm.
That was $42. Not horrible. I got the dual monitor mounts just to put my monitors on the wall finally, instead of just on my desk, and it's been really nice so far. And these monitor mounts were checking price again. It was 49.99, and they are usually $80.
Oh, okay, so save another 30 bucks. That's not bad. That's not
Yeah.
bad.
Then for my, I got some Christmas stuff from. I got like a little money bank for my brother. I got
None of them listen to the show, right? You don't wanna bust
no,
nobody Okay.
no, they do not.
Okay.
I got a trampoline for him as well for like a pretty good sale, like $120 off. And then the big one, I got the Mortal Kombat arcade one up cabinet for $100 off.
'Cause how much was that normally? Was that like 500
It's
normally?
500. I got it for
Okay.
about four, with tax about 440.
Yeah, because I remember the only other the one arcade one up that I have is the Simpsons one, and I remember when that one was first originally released, it was $600, and then when Walmart had it on sale one odd day of the week, and they were selling it for I wanna say 200 bucks, somewhere between 150 and 200. And I was like, okay, I can't pass up on this. And that's when I snagged one. But yeah, most of those things don't come cheap, but I feel like they always typically go on sale.
Yeah. It's I built the cabinet today though, with my dad, and it was cool. The only thing that annoys me is that at the bottom it like tips back and forth.
Oh, did you put the riser on there or no?
No,
See, now that's where you're messing up. Well, naturally, I'm a tall person. I don't know. Sometimes I like to play my arcades standing up instead of sitting down. And if you're standing up without the riser, I feel like you're slouching over at least a little too much for my
no, I
liking.
mean like the actual thing. It like tilts back and forth. Like
What?
I think it's because of the
Maybe? I don't know, cause
floor.
mine is on carpet and mine don't tilt like that, it's firm.
Well, I think it's just how it was built. I don't know. It's either something with the floor or we have to put something under it to fix that.
Oh, dear. No, well,
It's
look that
just
one up.
yeah, but it all looks good, all sounds good. It's cool.
Alright, well, was that most of your pickups right there?
Honestly, yeah.
Okay, okay. In terms of mine, first off, I had to pick up some extra storage because, typically, if you're looking for extra storage for, like, your PS5 or for your computer with, like, SSDs, micro SD cards, things of that nature, you always wait and store all that stuff up in terms of you just stockpiling whatever you need for the prime time of Black Friday slash Cyber Monday. So I was looking for a new SSD for my Asus ROG Ally because the built-in storage for it is 500 gigs normally, and I was like, dang, I'm tired of having to go through and uninstall and reinstall games and stuff. I need a little bit of flexibility. So I was like, nah, forget this mess. So I managed to buy a 2 terabyte SSD up in there. It's the first time I had to pop open the back and switch the SSDs around. I remember doing that with my PS5 though, but it was a little different technically doing that with a handheld PC. Like I guess technically that's like the first time I ever kind of modified a it's technically a computer at the end of the day though. But yeah, that was pretty good. Normally that SSD sells for like 240 bucks and I got it for like 180. So saved about almost 70 something bucks up on that thing. I'm like, oh thank goodness though. Um so yeah, that's all I got for storage. Now in terms of games, ooh-wee. I was pulling in a haul, Steven. I mean a haul. So let me go ahead and start off with I felt like I picked up a little bit of something from every retailer because some retailers were better than others though. Um Best Buy. technically this wasn't a Black Friday sale, but I technically pre-ordered this before. Remember the Marvel versus Capcom um 2 fighting collection thing?
Yes, yes.
So that finally managed to release for the physical edition in the month of November. So I managed to get that to come in the mail. So that wasn't on sale. That's just one game I just happened to get. But outside of that, I was eyeballing Metaphor Refan Zero because that came out in October, and I wanted to pick up that game. However, at the price, it was normally selling for $70. But the second I saw Amazon price it down to $50, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and get this. Ain't nobody's gonna price this mess any lower than $50. And I was right.
Next
Later
day.
on,
Oh, no.
later on, Best Buy happened to put it, but it was like several days after Amazon did it. And I was like, I just scooped it up at Amazon first. So I picked that one up for 50. So I saved $20 there. I felt like shoot, I'm trying to pull I have to pull up my receipts now, be just like you though. I felt like I thought I got something else from Amazon too, but I'm trying to remember what it was or if I did manage to pick up something from Amazon outside of that. All right, I got my little list right here. Um, oh yeah, so Persona 5 Royal, that was a game I always wanted physically for the PS5, even though I have the physical for the Switch, but the case itself is technically the Steelbook. I always wanted the PS5. I don't know if you call it a remaster, but it technically runs at 60 FPS. I just wanted something physical for the PS5 because that was literally like one of my favorite third party games of all time. But there was no way I was buying the game again physical for like more than 20. When I finally saw it for 20 on Amazon, I was like, fine, I'll go ahead and do it. It's not like I'm going to replay through the game. That's just one to kind of keep up on the shelf. And then I think the last Amazon game I got was Sonic X Shadow Generations because I felt like there was too much stuff coming out in October as it was already, and I was like, that game was selling for $50, and I was like, if I'm gonna wait, I remember Sonic Frontiers, and I remember buying that at launch, and literally like a few weeks later they put that on sale. So I was like, I
Well,
bet you
that's how it
Sonic
is.
X Shadow Generations will do the same thing, and I was right. Normally for 50, bought it for 30, so I saved $20 right there.
Yeah, and guess what? It was worth 50, but you got even better of a deal for 30. What'd you buy it on again?
I bought it for PS5 because the PS5 one technically you get that one pre-order bonus if you got that launch edition
Good
model
choice.
or something, and you also get the what was it?
Did you get the
Was it
notebook?
Robotnik's notebook or something?
Yeah, Gerald's notebook,
Yeah.
which is really cool. I really like the notebook.
Wait, did you get it on? Wait, what did you
I
get it on?
got
Did
it
you get it
on
on PC?
PS5
Oh, PS5. Okay, so you did the
and
same thing. Okay.
PC. I double dipped.
Uh,
And guess what? I'm glad I double dipped because it is a well, you got to play it. It's a great game.
okay. Okay. So I think that was it in terms of what I got on Amazon. Now, if we flip the script, Target, I picked up one thing on Target, and I was looking at this game for the longest time, and I was like, I technically already had the first game on the GameCube. Do I really need to get this one? But when I was looking at the second game in the series, I never owned it, never played it. So when I saw Pikmin 1 plus 2 go on sale for Target, normally it sells for 50, and it went on sale for 30, I was like, fine, I'll go ahead and pick that up. There was only 2 more left at my Target, and I was not paying for shipping. So
There was a
I
lot of
picked that up.
Nintendo games. A lot of Nintendo games going on unrealistic sales for like $30 for your
Mhm.
main like first parties, which isn't obviously this is 7 years later, but like I'm just surprised we even got them that low.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
Nintendo didn't have to do it, knowing them.
And I think outside of that, what was it? I talked about Metaphor Refense Zero, Persona, Sonic X Shadow, what was it? I got the fighting collection, but that technically wasn't a Black Friday deal. And Pikmin 1 and 2. Okay, now we got to flip it over to the Walmart side of things. Because I think Walmart, I picked up a couple of things from there too. I was like, dang. I was like, I saw one good deal after another. I had to literally force myself to stop though. But these were all games that literally came out earlier this year that I really wanted to get. But I was like, you know what? I have enough to play right now that I can save some money at the end of the year though. But I literally picked up the Batman Arkham trilogy. Normally, I think the full MSRP I think is $60. But the physical
Yeah.
edition, they were selling it for a little less than $20. And I said I always need to sit down and play that game. I was like,
And what did you get it for?
for Switch.
I don't think that was a great idea.
Hey, you say that that's not a good idea, though. I heard good things about the first, what was it, the first couple of games. I know there's some hot discussions on the third one, but in the back of my mind, I was thinking the Switch 2 is gonna be backwards compatible with all these
Yeah,
games.
but like
Who's to say that that mess ain't gonna run a little bit better though? And for $20, I was like, whatever. I'm
yeah,
just gonna go ahead and get it.
that's completely fair, but that is a not a guarantee.
It's not a guarantee, but I was like, you know what? I just prefer having it on Switch. I'll just go
Well,
ahead and do
I
that
agree.
anyway.
I prefer having games on Switch too, but like especially a game like that, like an actual, third party release. No, I got that. I got that trilogy on PC.
Hmm. Well, anyway, $20. I wasn't beating myself up at least for that.
Well, no, it's a good price. Even just for one of the games, that would still be a good price.
Yeah, because I mean, technically, between all three of them, $20, that's like $6 and something cents per each. So I ain't really
Six,
beating myself up for that.
yeah, something like that. 666.
And then I think the last thing I managed to pick up was Epic Mickey. Because I was looking at that game before. I remember seeing that game in the past on the Wii, and I really wanted to play it, but I never managed to get around to getting it. And when I saw the announcement that was coming out this year, I was like, "Oh, cool!" But it's just too much to get. When I saw that game, normally it would cost 60, and they priced that sucker all the way down at Walmart only, down to $30. That's cheaper than what it was going on sale for digitally on the Switch. I was like, $30 on the Switch? Oh heck yes, I'm getting this mess. So I managed to pick that one up too. And I
That's way like $60 regularly is way too much.
yeah, so I was like, when I saw it for 30, I was like, that looks about right for an original Wii game right there. I was like, that looks good.
Especially because it's not even a collection of both of them.
Yeah, it's just the first one, yeah.
I wonder if it is a good remake because I literally heard nothing about it once it released.
I feel like
Like
that was
nothing.
something more like the casuals will probably be picking it up and
Oh,
playing it, but it's not like they're
definitely.
always going to be online raving and talking about it. But whenever I do get around to playing that game, once I get to like a lull moment, I'm trying to chip away at some of this backlog. I'll let you know how it is.
Yeah.
I see you, Johnny, in the chat saying Epic Mickey on the Wii was a core memory. I'm
Epic
glad to hear
Mickey
that from
was
you because I always heard good things about this game, and I was like, I needed to get this because there's not a lot of great, I would say, truly great platformers. There's a lot of good ones out there though, but like great, I don't know. I just kept hearing good stuff about this thing, so I got to put it to the test on that.
Epic Mickey was the game that had the weird like brush accessory, right?
Yeah, it was like the brush and him, the black and white Mickey just running around painting stuff like that.
Yeah. It's it's really cool to see it remade either way.
Hmm.
Like especially because Disney's like game studios. I'm pretty sure they're completely gone.
Well, you talking about in the traditional sense,
Yeah,
like the
like
ones.
they
Okay.
have like $1 billion in Epic Games. I know that, but that's different.
No, because I mean Disney, they mostly license out most of their stuff. They let other people do it, but they have a division that kind of works hand in hand and make sure they oversee the projects well. That's how they treat their Marvel related games. Like remember how we have a uh, Captain America crossover with Black Panther one, and there's an Iron Man one, and there's like a couple other ones out there too. But they got
There's
to
the 1940 something
yeah, the
game.
1942 one is the Captain America slash Black Panther one, and then I think they have a dedicated Black Panther. Then they're gonna have the Iron Man one, and Xbox is responsible for the oh gosh, what is it? The Vampire Hunter one.
Blade.
Blade. There we go. Yeah, they're responsible for the Blade one. So yeah, they got a lot of stuff, and they have a studio that's fully dedicated to make sure the collaborations and the ongoing efforts for those games developments are going smoothly. But that's all the extent I know about Disney and making games and stuff.
They used to have a game studio that I think made Epic Mickey,
Yeah, they probably did, and
and
when we
also
saw how the
the
Star Wars stuff
yeah.
went, it was like, oh
Well, I'm pretty sure
goodness,
Disney Infinity is the single reason why it fell through,
yeah.
or at least one of the reasons. And then yeah, obviously Lucas Arts. Bell,
Mhm.
which was completely separate though from Disney's like actual game studio in house. It was
Yeah,
weird. Either way, Epic Mickey for 30 seems like a good deal. Yeah.
yeah, so that was outside of that, I'm trying to think back, but that is pretty much it in terms of all the deals that I managed to pick up for me personally. Now, obviously, I picked up a TV for like my church that I attend and stuff, and managed to save like about 30-ish bucks or something like that. If you're
Cool.
in the market for new TVs and stuff like that, obviously you got to pick it up during this time as well. Didn't do anything with monitors or anything else computer wise though, but that was it in terms of my pickups though.
My
So
dad, my dad got a 55-inch for $200. It's
that's
pretty
not
good.
bad. What brand? LG?
No, it's Sansui.
What the? Oh no. See, now that's the other thing with some technology things. It's like if I'm getting a TV, I have to pick up a brand that I actually know about. For me, that would be an LG, a Sony, or a Samsung. If it's not typically one of them three, I'm not really touching them.
Well, yeah, but like the TV works well, and my it was for free. My dad got it for me. Like I'm not gonna say no to a free TV.
Oh, okay. Hopefully it holds out and stuff. What was
It
it? 4K, the
yeah,
traditional stuff.
it's
Not
4K, it's HDR, it's a smart TV. It looks good. That's all
standard
that
60
matters to me.
FPS, or did it go up to like 120? No, not
It's
for
60 to
200.
my
It got to be.
knowledge.
It just got to be
It's
60.
60. That's
Yeah,
all
I
that
think the
matters
ones
to
that go
me.
like 120, you have to go a little north of 500 bucks. I think if you
Noth
want one like
nothing on
that.
nothing on PS5 is hitting 120, so I'm fine.
Yeah. I mean, unless you plug something in PC related, or that'll just be the future proof you just in general. But yeah, outside of that, that's it in terms of, I guess, for both of our pickups. Now, in terms of this good deals we saw across the board, we have to throw this out here though, because we actually managed to get a discount for the Nintendo Switch for the first time in 8 stinking years. And it seemed like every single one of the retailers, except for Walmart, to an exception, they were slashing down the cost of the Switch by like 75 bucks. So the Switch OLED that normally sells at 350, they were selling it at 275. The normal red box Switch that sells at 300, they were selling that mess at like 225. And yeah, to my record, that was the first time we ever managed to get a price drop on the Nintendo Switch. And I guess that's just going, it's like I guess, a telling sign that the Switch 2 is fully on its way. So these retailers are trying to move the stock along a little bit more, and that's pretty good value to get those switches, the OLED or the basic, for also Nintendo Switch Online included up in there, and also with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe added up on there though. So I guess if for some reason you hadn't got a Switch yet, this was like the prime time to do it. But those bundles they sold out quick. And I
Yeah, good prices, definitely. I'm surprised honestly that they did it.
and did you also see how they marked down Tears of the Kingdom
The
for
fucking
Walmart,
30.
the 30 bucks, and that game is
Yeah.
normally 70. I was like, "What on earth?"
Same for Spider-Man, same for there's at least one
Rise of
other
the Ronin was also on 30.
Silent Hill 2, which just fucking came out
That one's funny because that literally came out, or at the time of the sale going live, it was
October.
last month, and I was like, "Gosh, dang."
Yeah, like I don't know, especially because yeah, it's supposed to be a $70 game. Like it did well too. It's not like oh, it's not because the game did badly. Like it did well to my knowledge.
Yeah.
It's just weird, and it went 50 in other places, and I think specifically at Walmart it was 30.
Yeah, and I think even on the PlayStation side of things, I guess they were taking a book out of Nintendo's as well though, but even with the PlayStation 5 disc and digital systems, they were marking theirs down by 75 bucks for each console. So you had the PS5 getting knocked down by 75 bucks, both models. You had the Switch being knocked down by 75 bucks for both models, not the Switch Lite though. And then if you looked at Xbox, Xbox didn't do crap. All they did was like, hey, we'll sell you the 2 terabyte one for 600 bucks, and we'll give you a gift card with whatever retailer you got it with, and that's it. And I know you were trying to help your parents out to help get your brother an Xbox Series thing, and an Xbox, Microsoft, they just weren't throwing y'all a bone at all.
Yeah, pissed me the hell off.
They did have sales for the what was it, the Series S and the digital Series X. And I think that was like at best $50 off or something like that. But that was about it.
Yeah, Xbox really does not care about their actual consoles anymore. They care about the brand of Xbox, I guess, like Game Pass and cloud gaming.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like that, we talked about it last time. They're weird. This is an Xbox stuff. Only, only gets weirder. Like I don't know, like even PlayStation, which arguably has the same games, just more of them and better, is
Mm-hmm.
cheaper right now. Why would
Yeah.
you buy an Xbox
Yeah.
unless
Hey,
you're already invested in that eco? But here's the thing: I would say, oh, if you're already invested in the Microsoft ecosystem, get the Xbox Series X. I'm pretty sure most people that are already invested in Xbox have a Series X already.
mm,
Like I'm pretty sure like how many years, what this is 4 years into the console's launch. Most people that wanted one have one. So like you're trying to pick up new customers here. The difference is that the Switch can do that a lot better. Because the Switch actually is like has a lot of beginner friendly games. It can pull in a lot of new customers a lot easier. So you put that thing on sale, it's 225 at some places?
yeah, it was 225 for
Yeah.
the basic Switch.
And that includes Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and 12 months of online. That's great. That's a great bundle right there.
Yeah.
You get your nostalgia fix with all the NSO stuff, and you get Mario Kart, which is the best selling game on the console for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and then I guess next up, I was just gonna blast through some of these other deals real quick. Just go through them real quick because some of these deals at the time y'all might be listening to this, they might still be up depending on how quick you are at it though. But like, oh my gosh, Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Oh my goodness gracious, that thing is at like $13 at Best Buy. Like, what the freak? We already talked about Tears of the Kingdom being at 30. Mario Odyssey, I saw it as low as $30. Mario Maker 2, $30. Luigi's Mansion 3 for 40. Hogwarts Legacy, I think, was getting down pretty low. You can pick it up physically, I think, as low as $30, but I felt like the eShop went lower than that, maybe at one point. Persona 5 Royal, I think on the Switch was like as low as like $15. Man, if that's all the console that you got right there, I highly recommend that. Xenoblade Chronicles Defin- a lot of Nintendo games were basically going as low as like $40 and stuff like that though. Unicorn Overlord for like $30 if you wanted to pick that up. Um Doom 2016, I think, for the Nintendo Switch, only $8 on the eShop. Like you can't beat that. And you got like a handful of other stuff though too. I saw Ace Attorney trilogy for $10. Steven, I don't know what you're doing right now, but you need to whip out your phone, all right? And buy that Ace Attorney trilogy, man. 10
Where?
bucks. $10 for that trilogy on the eShop, man. You can't beat
Oh
that.
no, I would be getting that physical.
If you okay, well, here's the weird thing with the physical one. If you wanted that physical for Ace Attorney, you had to import that mess in from Asia, like one of the Japan markets or something like. That's what I had to do with mine to get that physical. Otherwise, if you were okay with having a PS4 version, that's all we have for America. But every other Ace Attorney game outside of the original trilogy, you can buy that physically here somewhere in America. It's just only those first three in that trilogy where it was a little weird.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it's English support on the
Yeah, no,
Japanese
it
copy,
is. It's
right?
like, yeah, once you pop that cartridge in, like I tested out with my Switch when I got it, it loads it up as if it's just the English version. You just
It's
have to
only
put up with
yeah,
the Japanese text up on the
it's only
box.
around $30.
Yeah,
Not that bad of a price, honestly. Only about $30. So yeah,
yeah.
maybe.
And I already talked about Epic Mickey being about 30. Oh, it's sold out on Amazon for 30. So it's still available on Walmart for 30. Otherwise, everywhere else, I think they got it for 40. Chrono Cross, I was almost debating on it, $8. Origami King is at like 42 and stuff. And the list kind of goes on and on and on. Did see one game that was selling for like $3, and I'm trying to remember what that was. It was oh, I think it was Ukulele and the Impossible Layer. They were
That
set.
game goes on sale a lot. Yeah,
It
it's a good
does, and
game.
the fact that they sell that thing on the eShop for $3, Steven, $3. I was like, what? They're basically giving that game away for free. Ooh. But yeah, those are just some of the standout ones. Obviously, you have to do a little bit of digging and research between Best Buy, Walmart, Amazon. Those are like my three go tos to get most of my stuff. Technically, you can do GameStop as well, though. But I don't like GameStop. I ain't gonna. At this point, if you don't know, I don't like GameStop. Shoot, I'll leave it at that. Outside of that, pretty good sales this year. I think this is like probably the biggest haul I managed to come away with in this one season versus some of the past few years and stuff. A lot of good stuff on sale. I wish Stellar Blade would have gone on sale for a little cheaper than $50. That went from 70 to 50. If it would have got down to the $30 like what Rise of the Ronin, I might have picked that one up, but I don't know. Anything else you wanted to mention on the Black Friday stuff, Steven?
No, we had a decent amount of good deals this year.
All right.
Cyber Monday has also got some pretty good deals right now. For example, the microphone I picked up was actually even cheaper today.
Oh man, I hate when they do that mess.
Yeah, I know.
That's why I usually wait until like almost 2 weeks before Black Friday, like the day that it starts on, and then I'll go ahead and start buying everything up. Because sometimes they start this mess earlier and earlier every single year, and it's like shoot, they start this mess almost like the late parts of October almost. But I know them, they're like they'll add in more additional deals or take off a little bit more on the dollar amounts and stuff like that though. And one of the only other things I kind of miss, and this is probably the last thing I'll say about Black Fridays, I miss it when people used to go in stores and they had to fight people to get stuff. And you saw those videos back in the day. It's like, man, that's the only thing I kind of miss about Black Friday. Hustle and bustle, the camping out and stuff. Oh man, the classic old vibes of Black Friday. Now we're just in the digital age where we just buy everything online. Whew. All righty. Well, Steven, that basically does it in terms of all the pop culture stuff that I had lined out for today. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump over into what's in the gaming news. All right, Steven. So Nintendo has been in a little bit of a funky mood here lately. And yes, I'm talking about them pushing the Donkey Kong envelope just a little bit more each and every day. Because lately, for the NSO service, they put out Donkey Kong Land 1 week. I think it was like on a Thursday or Friday, kind of to wrap up the end of 1 week. And then the very next week, it was like a Tuesday or Wednesday ish, they managed to drop out Donkey Kong Land 2. And I'm like, what the heck are they on right now? They'd like to put out anything up on the Switch, anything but a brand new game.
I know.
And lo and behold, I think after it, I was teasing y'all in the Discord call whenever we were just talking one random night. And I said, watch Nintendo be monkeying around and do something crazy on Friday morning. And I freaking called that mess. They did like a whole entire Donkey Kong Country series promotional video that showed everything from Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3 all the way to Tropical Freeze and Returns that would be, the HD version that we're about to get in the month of January of 2025. And I always love when they do that mess. They actually did one for the Metroid series right before Dread was about to come out though. I always like those little bits of gaming montages right there where they just kind of take you through the series stuff. I like that little stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like the only things we're missing at this point, Donkey Kong wise, because we know they're pushing this big because you had the Donkey Kong theme park open up in Japan in December, HD version of Returns coming out in January, and I think isn't it technically Donkey Kong Country's Returns anniversary, Steven? I don't know what number it would be if that's the case.
Um, I don't think so. I think that was like a 2011 game. 2010,
No, no, no.
2011.
Donkey Kong Country series anniversary. You got to go all the way
Oh,
back to the first Donkey Kong
the
Country.
anniversary of the series?
Yes.
What, 1992, right? Don't think so. No.
When did that come out?
I'm pretty sure DKC was 1992.
Well, no, I meant like the month.
Oh, I don't know. Sorry. I think it was recently. I heard people saying very recently, like, "Oh, today's the anniversary of the Donkey Kong Country series."
Oh, yep, yep, yep. So it was November 21st. So like, the last week of November. So yeah, it's about its time though. And that came out in 1994, and we are in 2024. Hold on here. Oh, this is its 30th anniversary. Okay, that makes sense for all the stuff though. Wish we'd had a brand stinking new game instead of just returns, returns, returns. Oh shoot, man. Come on. Oh
Returns,
man.
returns, returns.
That's
Yeah,
literally what I'm calling it because it's like the third time they're putting out this game. Um, but no, man, I love all the DK content. I think the only thing we're missing from the NSO side of things is Diddy Kong Racing, Donkey Kong 64, Donkey Kong Land 3, which I'm fully expecting them to drop that sometime this week, and Donkey Kong 94. I think those are like the last few that we're missing that we could possibly have up on here because we can't put games like Jungle Beat and all of that mess up in here because there's no GameCube app on the Switch online yet. But nah, it's been a somewhat okay anniversary for the Donkey Kong series though. I feel like it'll be better if I was able to run to the theme park and actually see that in Japan though. But I gotta
yeah, it'd
wait
be
until
cool.
that comes out in Universal and then I'll make my trip over there though. But good announcements, Nintendo. Just keep putting out as much Donkey Kong Country, or Donkey Kong stuff in general in the month of December. If you put out Diddy Kong Racing and slash or Donkey Kong 64, I'll be content. That's really all I'm looking for since you're not putting out a brand new game at this point. Oh, was there anything else you wanted to say on that? I had to go on my Donkey Kong rant for a while though, because it's been 10 years, over 10 years since we had a brand new one.
No, I understand. Hey, I'm just happy we're getting a Donkey Kong game, even if it's a remaster or this and that.
At
It's got
least they had the 3DS levels up in there, and I never played
yeah.
those.
I never did either, but like, god damn, man, I like $60. I don't
Hey,
know. That's
I got that thing on the deal with Best Buy when it was like the buy two get one free. So for me, it really feels like a $40 game. So I'm okay with that.
well, yeah, but like that's as much as it feels like a $40 game, it is not.
Yeah, that is true. All right. Well, outside of that, that's all that we had to talk about with the NSO updates recently with the Donkey Kong Land games. They actually gave us some more Sega Genesis games though too, and I was like, what the freak they on right now? Oh, but honestly, good stuff they managed to drop out thus far though. Oh, I didn't even talk about the actual games themselves. Hold up here real quick. Um if you're playing these games, make sure to have that Game Boy Color filter up on there though. I know these games get a lot of flack because they're the Game Boy versions of the Super Nintendo ones. They're like the inferior versions and stuff. The screen scrolling on this stuff is a little bit weird and a little bit wacky though. But I know there's some kind of nice charm to it just for the history of it though. But yeah, put them Game Boy Color filters on though, because I hate how they advertise in the pea green. I don't know how people play any Game Boy games in the pea green color scheme. That's just whack. All right, all right. On to the next thing. I gotta get off of this. All right. Next up, we had some reports about Sony potentially working on a new handheld, and it's in early development right now. And when I saw this breakout, I was like, that seems about right what they might want to do, but also seems just about right where they'll kind of bail on this idea. Now, you have to take everything with a grain of salt. This will be like an early development. So who's to say if this actually would actually come out to the market though? But like, what was running in your mind, Steven, when you saw this?
I was thinking this is a terrible idea unless they get the exclusives. I don't know. Well, like not even exclusives. And this is a terrible idea unless they can make PlayStation games actually worth buying a whole new thing for. Like, yeah, they're gonna come to PC and they're gonna come to Steam Deck. So give me a reason why I would be getting it on this instead. That's my whole thing.
You know, that is a true thing because I mean, obviously the Switch was the pioneer for the hybrid, you know, play it as a console, play it on the go or whatever though. And since then we had other things pop up, such as the Steam Deck, or I'd say the popular three that we got on the market right now. It's the Steam Deck, the ROG Ally, which that's what I own. I play all my PC games on it. And then there's also the Legion Go. Those are like the big three, and then obviously you have like a bunch of little other smaller stuff here and there that will kind of release on the market though. But those are honestly the big three right now. And obviously with the Switch 2, we know that they're going to continue that Switch hybrid model going in the future. We heard reports that Xbox is apparently working on one as well, which kind of makes sense for them considering you know they are in the computer business. It makes sense. And then I guess this is just Sony kind of looking at seeing how they can get their foot in the door. Because remind y'all, you know, there, there's already a device out there, technically the PlayStation Portal, but that's like a streamable device. You can't do anything locally on it. And recently, they just released an update for the thing where it's like, not only could you not stream the game straight from your console, but you can actually stream the PlayStation library straight from their servers from the cloud. So you technically don't have to sync it up to a PlayStation or a PS5 that you actually had, which is a nice update. More features, the better for this thing, though. But at least within this one reporting right here, this will be ideally someone in the future, Steven, maybe late in the PS5 life, early PS6, because it's like a few years off or whatever.
Yeah,
And this will be a system that will
probably
mostly
later.
you will download the games digitally because there's no way they're making a mini disc to stick this thing up in there or a cartridge like what we have with the Switch. So this will be like an all digital system that you just download all the games on and just play it natively like that. So would that interest you any bit or maybe not? Oh wait, Steven, you there? Oh shoot. I might have lost him for a second though. But the fact that they're considering this, it kind of makes sense that they will actually do that. But at the same point, it's like, I don't know. I don't know. Ooh-wee. No, I don't know. I mean, part of it kind of seems like a novel concept for them to actually go through and do that. But at the same point, I would say that a little bit too late. I feel like most of the PlayStation audience, some people like their Portal stuff, and then some people also like their Oh, okay.
Zard, you there?
Okay. Wait, never mind. Now I can hear you, Steven. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. That was on your end. I kept this train
Whatever
going. I
you
don't
where
know.
yeah, yeah, you just kept saying words and I could not understand a thing you were saying. Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
My mic sounds fine, everything's good.
Yeah, no, everything sounds good.
Okay.
But no,
Make sure it's good on the actual podcast
oh,
because we've had this issue before and it like messes up.
I was going back and looking at it, and OBS was still doing fine.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, yeah, no, we're all good. No, yeah,
Okay.
so I don't know. It was just purely Discord on that issue.
All right. And what were you saying?
But anyway, I was basically I was about to ask you, if this was just a digital console or handheld system that basically played your PS5 library of games on the go.
Of
And
course.
obviously, this wouldn't have like a disc or a cartridge that you would stick up in it like the Switch.
Yeah.
That's the only way they could pull this system off. Would that
Of
still
course.
be somewhat appetizing to you or no?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd say of course it's gonna be all digital, but is it gonna have the performance? And is it actually gonna be able to hold games on its storage? Because the PlayStation Portal, yeah, it's all cloud, making it a useless brick without a good internet connection.
Yeah,
You know what I
I
mean?
think I think there
You
could be
can't
some
truly
warranty.
go.
I feel
If
like
you
there
get
could
what
be
I'm
some
saying,
loyalty too.
it's not
Yeah,
truly portable if you have to be connected to the internet. You can't take it anywhere like you can the Switch.
yeah. So at least with this new device, if they were to put one out, and let's say in terms of pricing, let's say if they could get this out for $400, it's basically an all digital. You can't buy physical games for it though. However, the second you log into your account and you can go through and download anything you might have had on your library previously, maybe PS4, should be PS5 games, and I'll say PS6 games. If it could play all of that digitally on that handheld, and obviously like you wouldn't get like crazy graphics. At best, let's just say you get 1080p or maybe something slightly higher than that, maybe 1440 at best, but it shouldn't be no higher than that. And you can just play that, and it'd be an alternative to the PS5 or upcoming PS6. But you could just buy this one simple handheld, and it will play your whole entire library. How does that sound to you?
That would be nice.
'Cause I feel like that could be a jumping off point for people to get into the PlayStation ecosystem if they didn't care to have the big hefty console. If it was capable of playing the games, you just download it to the system, and it's just basically like a
Well, yeah,
all digital Switch. Basically, at that point, I feel like it could do something.
that would be great and all, but yeah, it would have to also have the power and battery life to deal with that. Remember, the DualSense has a terrible battery life, and theoretically, if they were going with the same thing as the Portal, it would just be like a DualSense basically.
That is true. So yeah, that would be the big three things: is like how hot that system will run, and keeping it cool, the performance, and
The battery
I think
life.
and battery life. Those are like the big things. And if they could at least get the battery life to be at least 3 hours, then I think that would be solid enough. Most more people would like to see a little longer than that, but for as beefy as this thing could possibly be, I think 3 hours is probably the best that it needs to do. All right. Well, outside of that, this is all kind of hypothetical. Take it with a grain of salt. There's just kind of reports that are just going around though. So it seems like a logical thing for Sony to go through and do. We'll just have to wait and see, if they happen to pull it out. I'll stand on that hill if they manage to put this sucker out for $400, no more than that, and it could be an alternative to having a PS5 or future PS6. Then I think it will do good. Anything less than that or overcomplicated more than that, and I think you'll be losing some people though.
Yeah, I don't know. Like at that point, just get a Steam Deck, which is still what I'm gonna say, but still.
Yeah, or get a ROG Ally. You can do a whole lot more with that thing though. All right. Well, outside of that, that's going to do it in terms of the PlayStation handheld thing. So that leads us into the big, major last topic talking point tonight. That being the Game Award nominations. In the last episode, we made predictions for what will win, or not even win. We said we made predictions on what could possibly get nominated for Game of the Year. Now we got those nominations officially solidified in, along with every other category. So now we're just going to run through all the different categories, say our personal picks of basically what would win our vote, but then also say between both of us, actually try to pick a winner that will probably logistically win it though. So I don't know, Steven, if you happen to have the Game Awards website pulled up on your side though, but I'm gonna start off with the most anticipated game and work our way backwards to the game of the year. We'll do it like that.
All right.
All right, so in terms of most anticipated game, I can already tell you 2025 is going to be a wild year for gaming though. But the five we have is Death Stranding 2 on the beach. What kind of name is that?
I don't know.
Ghost of Yote, Grand Theft Auto 6, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, and Monster Hunter Wilds. That's a pretty good lineup between all of those.
I think it's a pretty case closed lineup. GTA 6 wins. Metroid Prime 4 is the one I'd want to win.
The one I would want to win is Ghost of Yote. Metro Prime 4 is a close second, but GTA 6 will be the one that's going to win this. Let's be real.
GTA win. And there's
Yeah.
no way GTA 6 doesn't win. It's probably getting a trailer at Game Awards.
No, I think Rockstar, they know that game's. extremely big. They can make their own event out of it. I don't think they're gonna show up with a trailer in
We'll
that. No,
see. We'll see.
they can overshadow everything if they wanted to do that, but they don't really need to. All right, best adaptation we had over here: Arcane, Fallout, Knuckles, Like a Dragon, Yakuza, and Tomb Raider: The Legend of Lara Croft. I only saw two of these series. Steven, have you seen any of
I haven't
these?
watched any of them, but I'd have to assume
Surprised you hadn't seen the Knuckles series though.
it looked boring, and I've heard boring things about it. It's not even an
I like Knuckles as the
adaptation of
character, but it's
anything.
it's that buddy cop system he has with that other dude. I can't remember that dude's name. Like he's not.
Wade Whipple.
Yeah, I'm like the dude ain't even interested.
He's the
Don't tell me
guy.
he was in the first movie.
He's in the second movie.
Oh,
Listen, I just like when he goes, "The flames of disaster."
oh goodness. Yeah. So
Funny.
even in that series when I was watching it, I got halfway through that series, and then I said I'll eventually get back to it. I never did. So I was like, okay, whatever. Um, And then Fallout was the only other one that I watched. And, that one got a lot of fan praise up on there. And it was fairly good. It just wasn't enough to hold me personally, though. But I can understand why other people liked it, though. So, me personally, if I had to choose, I would choose Knuckles. But logistically, I think Fallout will win.
Yeah, probably.
All right, let's see here. What we got up here next? Best multiplayer. Here we go. Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Tekken 8, and Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2. That's a dumb old name right there.
I'm
I'm sorry.
surprised. I'm surprised. Fucking Mario Party got nominated.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. You had two different modes up in there. What was it? The Bowser mode was like a 12-player online thing, and the
I get. Yeah,
Koopathon was like 20 players. So I was
but
like, and then
still,
you had
like
traditional the 4 players and stuff.
usually Nintendo gets snubbed for everything but Family Game. That's why I
Well,
said it.
I mean, Splatoon, whenever the year that came out, it was in the multiplayer category, I'm pretty sure.
True.
But
Yeah, it was.
yeah, so I think logistically, my personal pick to win this one would be Super Mario Party Jamboree. But if I were to actually choose one, I think will probably win the whole thing. It's either going to be Call of Duty or Helldivers 2.
I don't think Helldivers 2 is winning because of the way they handled that game.
Oh, because like what? Didn't it kind of have like a mini Fallout? Was it 3 months in?
Well, it's mostly just Sony being stupid and the fan base not having fun with them constantly nerfing everything.
Hmm. So where are we going to go with? Call of Duty?
Yeah, I guess so.
It would be cool to see Tekken also do it though, but I don't know. I feel like fighting games, even though they get nominated, they never really win much of anything unless you're
I think
Smash.
right. Yeah, I think Tekken's gonna win best fighting game, but we'll get to that.
All right, so we'll roll on over to the next one. Best sports slash racing. All right, I'm gonna keep it a buck 50 with you, Steven. NBA 2K 2025 is gonna win it. I don't even think I need to go through and read all the rest of these things because I mean, you have EA
No one,
Sports, F124, Top Spin, and WWE all for their
no
current
one,
years.
no one cares about those games anyways. So yeah,
I mean, out of all of these, the big major ones is your oh gosh, it's weird because like with soccer, when they called it FIFA, I'm so used to it being called FIFA, and since the weird licensing thing, they don't even call it FIFA no more. It's weird though, but it's basically between the soccer game and 2K. I'm gonna say 2K. I'll just go ahead and throw that out there. All right, let's see what's next. Best sim slash strategy. I like some strategy games though, but I will admit I have not played any of them. But here are the nominations. You got Age of Mythology Retold, Frostpunk 2, um, oh, Path of the Goddess. I'm just gonna say that. Manor Lords and Unicorn Overlord. Have you heard anything about any of these games, Steven?
I've heard of Unicorn Overlord, but I heard nothing about it after it released. I don't know.
That's the only one I really ever heard anything about it. So I'm gonna say what's gonna win it is probably gonna be Unicorn Overlord. I feel like we both can come to that unanimous decision because these other
Probably.
four I have heard nothing about. But at least I heard something about Unicorn Overlord. All right, here we go. All right, now Steven, I know you can talk about this one though. Best family game. You got
Yeah, we can
Astrobot,
talk about this.
Princess Peach Showtime, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Legend of Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom, and The Plucky Squire. This is usually Nintendo's category to win, but somehow they got snubbed, I think, last year, though. But how are you feeling about these nominations?
I think Astrobot deserves to win and is the likely choice.
Mm.
I like Mario Party. Like maybe Mario Party's the only one that can get close, but I don't see Echoes of Wisdom as a family game. I think it got nominated for Best Action Adventure, which it fits better. It's not really a family game. And Princess Peach Showtime, not really either. Like it's got a very specific audience that it's going for.
I feel like with Best Family Game, when I'm looking at a category like that, it's typical, or and even the description itself it says for the best game appropriate for a family play, irrespective of genre or platform. And when I look at best family game, I always think of it as you have to be able to play it with the whole family. And to me, that
Yeah,
thinks multiplayer or co-op in some kind of form or another. Like even Mario Odyssey. Remember when you were able to throw Cappy around or something like that?
yeah,
You can have a second player control it, even if it's as simple as that. Just something where two people at a minimum can play it at the same time, or at least in back-to-back succession. That's what I really look at. And between all of
yeah.
these games, only one of them really fits that for me personally that I've gone
Mario
through and
Party.
played, and that's Mario Party. That's my personal pick. I
Yeah,
can
I'm just
understand
thinking.
Astrobot, like it has that vibe and flavor though, but I mean, I just see one person playing that.
Yeah, I think Astrobot's still gonna win because I'm sure that there's other factors like is it like family suited? Is it as much as I hate to say it, family best family game is just a reject category for games they deem too kiddie.
Honestly, you're probably right.
Like and that's why Nintendo's mostly nominated for it because Nintendo is probably the only industry that's doesn't have major big games that are like filled with guns and violence and this and that. Like they make games that a family could enjoy.
Yeah, that's true. And I think that's one of the reasons why they're able to sell so many different consoles because it's like if you got that, you got so many different genre and different series and stuff that range anything from the basic Mario that anybody can play to basic old Kirby that might gravitate towards a younger audience to where you got your teenage related games where it's like, okay, you can get teenagers playing these with like a Fire Emblem game or a Xenoblade game and stuff. Then you can work your way all the way up to mature with like a Bayonetta and stuff. You don't normally see that in every single company out there. And Nintendo just happens to do the best, so you can kind of keep your audience pretty wide and pretty diverse, though. But I don't know. I guess that's one to agree to disagree on. I'm standing by Mario Party. You're standing by Astrobot.
Yeah,
All right. Best fighting game. Ooh. Okay. Here we go. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, Grand Blue Fantasy versus Ryzen, Marvel versus Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics. Oh, that's a mouthful. Multiverses. Oh, I got something to say on that. And Tekken 8. What the freak multiverses? You were literally nominated, and I think you won last year. But because you took the game down and then you brought it back, you're actually able to get back in this category again. That is dumb.
yeah. The game doesn't deserve it in the slightest either.
Because I remember you liked the game quite a bit when it was in that beta
They ruined
form, and
it.
yeah,
They fucking ruined it. Simple as that. And yeah, like it's just not a good idea. It's not a good idea to nominate it. I think
mm,
Tekken 8 probably will win. I think Dragon Ball Sparking Zero and Tekken 8 are the only ones that even could win. I see no way that obviously Marvel versus Capcom Fighting Collection was like a big deal, but it's not a new game.
yeah. I feel like for that style alone, it probably won't
Like I
win.
know that I know Jeff Keighley considers fucking collection, remasters and remakes. Yeah, I know he considers them like eligible now, but I still don't. I
Yeah,
don't think that they're gonna choose something as lame as that.
yeah, so I'm like, I'm looking at all five of these games, and I own three of the five. The only two I don't own is Multiverses or Slash Play and Tekken 8. It'd be cool to see Tekken 8 win it, but me personally, I've been waiting forever to have basically another Budokai Tenkaichi game. But Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, that's everything I've been wanting and more. That's literally gonna be my go-to comeback PlayStation game for ooh goodness for like years to come though. So yeah, that's my personal pick, and I would dare say that's probably the one that's gonna win this whole thing though, because like oh shoot, yeah, everybody and their mama going out and buying this game when it came out in October of this year though. Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising is also a very quality game, and I know Tekken 8 as well. I'm just thinking the Dragon Ball fans gonna rise up on this one. Is that what you're thinking too?
Yeah, I think it's possible.
Okay. Okay. All right, so we'll lock that one in. All right, best RPG. Oh man, this is always my category to look at and size up. We have Dragon's Dogma 2, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, Like a Dragon: The Infinite Wealth, Metaphor Ring Fantasy Zero, and the game that's kicking up all the stinking controversy. This ain't the first time we're gonna talk about it, and it's not gonna be the last time we're gonna talk about it either. Elden Ring: Shadow of the Erd Tree. Let's go ahead and address the elephant out of the
Uh,
room. Why the freak is that DLC up in this list, man? We could have had
well,
freaking Persona 3 Reload up in this thing, or we could have had something else up in this month. But now you had to
I
put some
no,
DLC up in here and bend the
listen.
rules, Jeff Keighley.
I know that it's technically an RPG, but I don't fucking consider it. I don't think it counts. Like, I don't think Final Fantasy VII, like Rebirth, should count either.
Well, no, that one
But
can
like,
count because they did a lot of changes up in it. It's a standalone game and it's
but it's more of an
completely
action
remade.
game at that point, with everything they did.
Mm,
Like,
yeah,
I'd say with
that's the
how it
weird thing with
plays,
I know with RPGs, you have so many different subcategories of them. It's
I
kind of hard to truly define them. But if you're
I
just
don't know.
wrapping it
For the
all
sake
up
of
for
the
just any RPGs, it still technically could deserve to be there. I'm not
yeah,
mad at that.
for the sake of the argument, I'll consider all of these RPGs. Elden Ring still should not be there. Final Fantasy would probably be the closest thing to a winner, and Metaphor I know nothing about. I can't comment.
Yeah, so out of all of these, I only own two: Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Metaphor Refantasy Zero. I'm trying to carve space out of my schedule where maybe that would be my December game for Metaphor because Mario and Luigi ain't rubbing me the right way. So I might have to sideline that mess. And if I do, then that opens up time for me to play Metaphor though. But I heard really good things about that game. Obviously, everybody and their mama knows about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And heard some things with Dragon or Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth earlier this year though, but reminding y'all that was like a January game. And I know some recency bias kind of plays up into this list a little bit more. So if I were to pick one that would probably win it, it's either going to come down between FS7 Rebirth or Metaphor. And I'm going to say my
Probably.
personal one is Rebirth, and I think they're going to wind up giving it to Metaphor. What you thinking?
Yeah, I think they're just gonna throw Metaphor a bone because I think Final Fantasy's got more of a shot for the game of the year.
Yeah, okay, I can see that. Spread the wealth. Okay.
That's usually, well, I don't know. They're not really known for doing that, but we'll see.
Hmm. Yeah, because I'm curious. I might have to go back and look at the history of like previous games that won a certain like if it was like a RPG that won, did they also win the RPG category? I need to look that up. All right, best action slash adventure. Astrobot, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, Silent Hill 2, Star Wars Outlaws, and The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. How you feeling?
Um, Probably Astrobot, either Astrobot or Echoes of Wisdom, but like, who knows?
My personal picks is going to be Astrobot or Echoes of Wisdom. Probably Astrobot would be my personal pick. What I think will win is also going to be Astrobot. But what I really would want to see win is Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Slap all those people over there that worked at Ubisoft up on this in terms of making the decisions to disband that team. Slap all of them in the face and have them win this category and make them do a double take of, oh, maybe we shouldn't have closed down that studio. Because I finally managed to, oh goodness, I didn't mention about this. I knew I missed a game. Prince of Persia and the Lost Crown. I picked that up on Steam for
Yeah.
$20. That was the last Black Friday deal I was missing out on. I knew I
Oh
was missing
yeah,
one.
you
Yeah.
you did say this, yes.
Yeah. So no. So I would want to see this one personally win, even though I think it's really gonna go to Astrobot. No. But we will see. That would be so funny if it won this category, man.
Yeah, I think Astrobot's gonna be that game that sweeps just because it's arguably the biggest Sony game that came out this year.
Yeah, and I like how a lot of people were looking forward to Silent Hill 2, but it's like once the game came out, I didn't really hear too much buzz around it much after the fact though. But all right, best action games: Black Myth Wukong, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Stellar Blade, and the Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2.
I heard a lot of talk about all of these games.
I heard talk about every single one of these games, but the Warhammer one. That's the one I never heard anything about. I heard stuff about all the other four.
Warhammer, you must have just been. It came out in September. A lot of people were talking about it. You might just not have seen it.
I
People
don't
like
know.
the game. It's just a fun like action game. Um, but screw that because I think that why is the name of the game? Well, can you read them off again?
Yeah, Black Myth Wukong,
Oh
Call of
yeah,
Duty Black
there.
Ops 6, Helldivers 2, and Stellar Blade and Warhammer.
I think Black Myth Wukong is gonna win solely because of how crazy big it was.
I
Like
feel
what?
like I know that one's so big, and a lot of those sales came from like the Chinese market and stuff because
I think
it's
that's
kind of
enough.
yeah.
I think
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm not of the opinion that Game Awards is completely fair. Game Awards is, in my opinion, absolutely slightly influenced by what looks better on a box. You know, we could put best action game on the box to make it sell more,
hmm.
type of deal.
You're probably right. I mean, my personal pick of what I would like to see win, probably Stellar Blade or Helldivers 2. But logistically,
Hell,
I'm probably like you. It might be Black Myth Wukong.
Helldivers is a cool game, but considering an action game, I don't know.
I mean, I feel like they'll just do that for anything where it's like you're shooting
Yeah,
guns and stuff. I don't know.
replace
But in
that
terms
game
of
with an
well, hold on here. Let's look at this list. In terms of an actual like actiony kind of game that's not like just running around and shooting guns, like in the traditional sense, like how most Western games are. You technically have to remove Call of Duty and Helldivers. At that point, it's really only Black Myth, Stellar Blade, and is it technically Warhammer, Steven? I really don't know much about that
yes,
one.
Warhammer is an action game.
Okay, so I'm not questioning that it isn't in the sense like what we just eliminated it down to. So between all three of those, then it really comes down to between Black Myth, Wukong, and Stellar Blade. But
Black Myth Wukong.
all right, all right. Well, we'll go ahead and lock that in. Probably gonna win anyway. Best VR slash AR. I don't know any of these except for one. The Batman Arkham Shadow. We're just gonna go ahead and just lock that down, unless you have
I've
any
seen
oppositions.
way too many advertisements for that game. What are the other nominees?
The other ones was like Arizona Sunshine Remake, Asgard's Wrath 2, Metal Hellsinger VR, and Metro Awakening.
Probably the Batman game. Let's just
The
go with the
Batman one,
Batman
because
game.
literally like, that's the thing that's like promoting, and they were doing Black Friday deals for you to get a MetaQuest 3 and get that game. And I think at some places you might have got a gift card with it as well
I'm
for
pretty sure
300
pretty
bucks.
sure the Batman game just comes pre-installed on the MetaQuest.
Yeah, like they're using that as like a system seller, which honestly, if that was like that VR headset was like 200 or maybe just a little shy of 200 just for the Batman game alone, I might have dipped. If it was bundled in, I probably would have dipped. But 300 is a little too much for me because I know like VR games, it's like there's not a lot of them outside like maybe Beat Saber. That's I probably would mess around with though. The Batman one, I heard good things about it, where it's like okay, I could see myself getting that, put it on my list for VR games to mess around with. But weird how they didn't put that mess on the PlayStation VR too. But anyway,
Yeah,
let's roll on to the best mobile game. You have AFK Journey, Balatro, Pokemon trading card game, Wuthering Waves, and Zenless Zone Zero.
I hope Balatro wins just to screw over people that
No,
wanted
for
Zenless.
no, just for this one category alone. Heck no. I know it's technically going to be in the running for Game of the Year though, but heck no. I had more fun on the Pokemon trading card game Pocket and especially Zenless Zone Zero. Even though I didn't technically play it on mobile, I played it on PC. But I love the heck out of Zenless Zone Zero. My personal pick is Zenless Zone Zero. Well, I think will probably win. It might honestly be Balatro. But Pokemon trading card game has been selling quite a bit, or I say selling quite a bit, and a lot of downloads quite a bit though. So I mean, Pokemon Company might manage to come up and get one. Who's to say?
We'll see.
Hmm. So you're leaning on Balatro and I'm leaning on Zenless.
Yeah.
Okay. Hmm. I mean, logistically, it probably will be Balatro. I'll just go ahead and lock that in though. But I want it to be Zenless Zone Zero, please. All right. Next we have best debut indie game. This is where things get a little weird between this category and what will be the next one, though. But we have Animal Well, Balatro, Manor Lords, Pacific Drive, and the Plucky Squire.
I
My
don't.
personal pick would have been Animal Well, but watch it be Balatro.
If Balatro doesn't win Game of the Year, it's definitely winning this. It's really the only
Oh,
indie I've heard people
yeah.
talk about. Plucky
No,
Squire was a game
you
I
didn't
was
hear
looking
people talk
forward
about
to.
Animal Well as well, with that being like a weird Metroidvania and a
No, but
community had
like,
to come together,
yeah,
kind
but
of figure out how to beat the game.
I
That
see.
was kind of interesting.
I've seen people talking about Animal Well for maybe 2 days and then moved on to the next
Oh
thing.
no, I heard
I've
about it
seen
quite a
people.
bit.
I've seen a lot of people, like a lot of like mainstreamer people talking about Balatro.
I hadn't
Balatro kind
heard
of broke out
Balatro
of it.
at all until the Game Award nominations. I'm gonna
Well,
keep
then
it
that's
point
just
blank.
the you thing,
I don't
sorry.
know if it's
You
just
don't
a
play
you thing or
roguelikes.
what, but I was
You
like,
don't
at
play
least in all of my
roguelikes.
circles, I don't know. And even then, Sonic, who's like our, I would say our Resident Evil. Oh, I said Resident Evil.
Resident
Resident
Evil.
I'm sorry, man. He's a resident indie rapper. Like he downloads more games than I think he honestly has the time or the money to actually fully invest on all these things, though. But I don't even think I heard him talk about Balatro. And
I'm sure
usually,
he did, and you just did
hmm,
not hear it. I'm pretty
I
sure
don't
he
know.
has that game. Zard, I think you like. There's a lot of people that like Balatro. It's definitely one of the more successful indie games this year.
Oh,
We'll
I
see
mean,
though. It seems interesting. I'm definitely gonna buy it eventually.
I think it's technically on sale right now
It
if you want
is.
it. But I think that's the lowest I think it ever went on sale. But all right, so we're gonna move it on up because this next one, this is where you have best debut, then you have best independent game. Like, what are we doing over here? Best debut and best independent game. Merge that mess and just making it into one. I don't understand it though. But in terms of the best independent game, you have Animal Well, Balatro, Lorelli, and the Laser Eyes, Neva, and UFO 50. Look now,
I don't
between
know.
one of these two, Animal Well got to at least win one of these categories. You can't have Balatro winning both.
Probably Animal Will, just because it was a big breakout for their first game.
Okay. Oh, if it's talking about like, hold on, best independent game for an outstanding creative technical achievement in a game made outside of the traditional publisher system. Eh, I honestly do not understand this though. So yeah,
I don't get it, but like
we're
I
rolling
don't
with
know.
Animal Will, right? Between both of us.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay,
It
we'll do that.
it can get one.
All right. Best community support. Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 16. Wait, no, I said 16. Final Fantasy 14, my bad. Fortnite, Helldivers 2, and No Man's Sky.
Not Fortnite.
That's funny because well, yeah, Fortnite's always in this category every year. That and I think Final Fantasy
Definitely,
14 are always in here.
definitely not fucking Helldivers too.
I felt like they were good for a point, but then I just keep hearing things like what you're saying. I'm like, I guess that kind of puts it off the table. So I guess it might be Final Fantasy 14,
What was the other one? What
Baldur's
was the
Gate
other
3,
one?
and No Man's Sky.
Oh, Baldur's Gate 3 got a lot of like support and patches and this and that. Like
Hmm.
probably between those two games, No Man's Sky and Baldur's Gate. Because No Man's Sky, they're still constantly updating.
Hmm. I don't know. This one's always weird because it's like I never play a lot of these super long ongoing games at all, really. I don't know. Hmm. I say they're gonna probably give it to Final Fantasy 14. You're saying Baldur's Gate 3?
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay, we'll see who wins on that one. All right, then you have okay. This is another little conflict I have with the Game Awards right here. Literally, we just had we came off of best ongoing or support. Now it's just best ongoing. And I'm like, well, what the freak? You have Destiny 2, Diablo 4, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Helldivers 2. Mm,
Um, Probably Destiny. Like that game's still going after how long?
I mean, Destiny
Either
2, kind
oh,
of, but I feel like
Final Fantasy 14 probably is gonna win because it's won in the past.
I'd say Final
Fortnite.
Fantasy 14.
Oh, maybe this will be the year that Fortnite takes it again. They haven't taken it in a while, mostly because Fortnite is how many years old and still has a peaking player count.
This is crazy. These people
Yeah,
invest so much time up in this mess and they ain't playing no other
over
games.
over 11 million people were playing the other day for the live event.
Good gracious.
Yeah, I know.
All right, well, we're gonna lean on Final Fantasy 14. Square Enix got to get a little bit of love in the Game Awards, so we'll give it to them. Uh, ugh, this category right here, Steven, I want to see what your thoughts on it. Games for impact for a thought-provoking
I
game
don't
and a
care.
pro social media or
I can
message.
fucking care so much less, Zard. I'm sorry.
They got 6 games for these nominees. I just got to read them out for those that are listening, though. They have Closer to Distance, Indicia, Neva, Life is Strange, Double Exposure. Man, somebody's about to get exposed. Um, Hellblade 2 and Tales of Zinzera Zal.
I've only ever heard of Hellblade 2 and Life is Strange, and I don't care for either, by the way. I don't really fucking care about
That
any
it
of
was,
these.
and even with Hellblade 2, they didn't even
That
advertise or
game
promote
got no
that game
promotion.
up until the point where they just said the game's out now. And I remember them just putting out a screenshot of it, not even a video clip, nothing. I was like, what on earth? It felt like they were ashamed of this game. I don't know. So yeah, shoot, I don't know what they'll choose out of all of these 6. They'll probably choose Life is Strange or maybe Tales of Zenzera. That one looks kind of cool with the art style, but I don't know. I really don't care about most of these though. That Indicio one, oh gosh, if you pull up the little categories and the picture for that one, that one looks haunting. You got like a real picture of a real person. Ugh. Anyway, innovation and accessibility, recognizing software and social hardware that is pushing the medium forward by adding features, technology, and content to help games be played and enjoyed by even a wider audience. I wish they would actually say what each one of these games do in terms of accessibility, but I digress. In terms of the nominations, we have Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Diablo 4, Dragon Age the Belguard, Prince of Persia The Lost Crown, and Star Wars Outlaws. Honestly, Steven, I don't know because they don't specify what they did with it in terms of the innovation, in
You
terms
know
of
what?
accessibility.
It's usually either options or representation, and you know the type of representation I mean.
Oh gosh, dang it.
AKA, this is the reject category that no one fucking cares about these games about anything else. No one cared about these games enough to put them in any other category, so they get to sit here. I
I
don't
just
really care.
don't get
Like,
how the heck is Black Ops 6 up in this mug, but
well,
I
probably
don't
just
know.
for over like a lot of options. Maybe they support those adaptive controllers for people
Or
that are disabled.
oh, maybe
Is
like
my
that
guess.
one PlayStation controller where it's like the
That's
um
why,
I think maybe for that. Mm.
yeah, that's why Street Fighter 6 I think was nominated last year was because like it had a lot of accessibility. People that were blind were able to
Oh
play
yeah,
that
now
game.
I that was if I remember right, I felt like that's where my vote went because if you can have someone blind play a video game, that's crazy.
Well, yeah, like that. I think that's the type of stuff they mean.
Yeah, I
But
mean, I
life,
know what
like
that's what they
life,
mean. I wish they would go through and list what each one of these things do. But I'm just gonna go ahead and throw out Prince of Persia. Can't be Star Wars. Cannot be that. But it might be Call of Duty. Who's to say? What you thinking?
um, I don't know.
Hmm.
Probably it's because I literally can't think of anything else. See, these games are so forgettable. Fucking, what were they again?
Prince of Persia, Call of Duty, Diablo 4, Dragon Age, Veilguard, and Star Wars Outlaws.
Dragon. I guess Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown
All
because
right,
that's the only game I
we're
actually kind
stamping
of like.
that and we're moving it on because
Fine.
somehow, some way, Prince of Persia better pick up at least one, if not two, W's across the thing. All right. Oh, this is where we get a little funky. Best performance awarded to an individual for voice acting, motion, and slash or performance capture. You have Brianna White from Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Handheld from Life is Strange Double Exposure, Humberly Gonzalez, Star Wars Outlaws, Luke Roberts from Silent Hill 2, and Melina Jurgens from Hellblade 2.
Whatever the Final Fantasy one was, I don't know any of the other stuff.
Okay, yep. Because I think, if I remember right, I think Brianna White, I think, did Eric's voice. Let me look that up real quick. Eric, voice. Oh dear, I spelled that. Yeah, yeah, that's Aerith in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Which technically, unless there's some recaps that happen in the third game, she ain't really gonna have a predominant role in the final game of the series. Though she'll have some minor stuff, but nothing major, I would think. So this is kind of like one of our last major going out points. So yeah, for that reason alone, I'll give it to her. I'm still a Tifa stan at the end of the day, though. But I got to spread the love around a little bit, though. I had some good looking people up on that list. I ain't gonna lie. All right. Next up, we had some best audio design. We have Astrobot, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, Hellblade 2, and Silent Hill 2. I don't play a lot of games with my headphones on. Do you, Steven?
I do.
I feel like the only times I do have them on is like when I'm in the Discord call chatting with y'all, so I had the headset on. It's like very few and far between when I would stick them on and just play it just to play it. But I would say maybe Astrobot or Call of Duty Black Ops 6. I would like to see FF7 Rebirth though, but he might have did some weird stuff with Silent Hill 2 that I just not privy of. I don't know. What you thinking?
Um, I don't know, Zard.
Mm, oh man. Oh, I gotta make the executive decision for both of us. We're gonna give it to Astrobot. It might honestly be Call of Duty though, but we'll personally say Astrobot.
Yeah,
Um,
why not? What? Well,
yeah.
honestly, why not? Give anything that I don't know to Astrobot.
Huh. All right, we're getting close to the end. Just a handful more.
Thank God.
Best score in music. All right, we got Astrobot, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Metaphor Refantasy Zero, Silent Hill 2, and Stellar Blade.
All right, well, Final Fantasy's winning, but Astrobot has some fucking great music. Can we just agree on Final Fantasy winning this?
Yeah, it should. I mean, just for the pure quantity that they have up on this list, I think they should go and get it. And if we were looking at a second place, I think the second place would have been maybe Metaphor. I think
Listen,
there's a couple of
Astrobot
tracks, but I think overall the great spread is probably between Final Fantasy and Astrobot. But that should be a
here's
Final
the thing.
Fantasy one.
Astrobot has some incredible music, but some of it is reused from the Astro's Playroom.
Oh, that
So
oh
just for
yeah
that,
yeah.
I'm gonna specifically say it might not win.
All
I don't
right.
know. I would like it to. I like, there's some banger songs like when they go, "I am Astrobot." That song's fucking banger, dude.
It's weird how to sing that out.
I am Astrobot.
All right, best art direction. We got Astrobot, Black Myth Wukong, ugh, Elden Ring, Metaphor Refantasy Zero, and Never. Out of all of these, even though I hadn't played it, you can still appreciate everything just from seeing the stuff. You don't necessarily have to go through and play it just to kind of see what the art style is. I'm giving this the Metaphor Refantasy Zero because Atlas does some wild, crazy stuff with like even their menu select stuff. Everything is stylized up and usually in their game, so I'm giving it to them. Second place would have been Astrobot, but I'm giving it the Metaphor. What you thinking?
What's the name of the category again? I'm sorry.
Best art direction.
I'd say Astrobot, like,
Hmm.
just because of how, like, when there's grass, it's not real grass. Like, everything's artificial. Like, there's a lot of it's a cartoony art style, but they put so much attention to detail to literally everything.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, there's a lot of things going on in the app the environment and stuff is all smooth. It looks really nice on the eyes and stuff. Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
agree with you on that too.
I personally think it will be Astrobot. We will find out though.
I think it's gonna be
I'm
metaphor.
locked. I'm
We'll
locking
see.
in.
All right,
I'm
we'll
locking in
see.
Astrobot.
All right, then you have best narrative for outstanding story playing, narrative development in a game. FF7 Rebirth, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, Metaphor Refantasy Zero, Hellblade 2, and Silent Hill 2. Um, I'm going with FF7 Rebirth.
Yeah, I think that's just yeah.
Number two would have been Metaphor, but it's hard for me to actually say that without beating the game. You need to beat it in order to really give your 2 cents up on it, though. But I think it will be FF7 Rebirth. All right, best. Wait, hold on. Let me double check this one right. Okay. All right. Here we are, Steven, down to the final two categories. We have best game direction and game of the year. And for both of these two categories, the same six I'm about to read out are the same six that are. Let me double check. I think that is true. Yeah, the same six I'm about to read out right now are the same six that are going to be for game of the year as well as best game direction.
Why
Tip
do they even split it up?
I don't know why, but typically the one that wins best game direction is typically the one that wins game of the year. And it's always funny how they do those close to back whenever they do the actual presentation of who wins the awards at the game awards. So we'll talk about it all in one. So in terms of the nominations for both these categories, it is as follows. You have Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth Wukong, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Metaphor Refantasy Zero, and Elden Ring Shadow of the Entry, the DLC.
Ah,
I'm
at,
looking at all of these and I'm like, out of
if we're
all of
talking
them,
about
I
all
only
right, if we're
only played
talking about
two. Have to.
specifically game direction, like game direction, I think that Astrobot should win just because of how it was able to, kind of do a 3D platformer in the modern age. The critical
Okay.
acclaim, I think, is super impressive.
I okay, I can see that, and I think I personally agree
I
with
know
you
it.
on that for the best game direction. I was leaning more so on Astrobot. I had a different
Yeah,
winner for game of the year overall, but in
yeah.
terms of game direction, like I don't think I can get that to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth because at the end of the day, it is a remake with some twist up in it though. But I got to give most of the credit to a wholly original new game. So at that point,
Now,
but for me personally, it'd be between Astrobot or maybe Metaphor. So I'll be
game of
saying
the year
Astrobot.
now.
All right, now game of the year. Same games. You know, this is just for all the marbles. All right, Steven, what is your personal game of the year pick between these six?
What I want it to be, or
What
what
you
it
want
will
it to
be.
be, and then we'll go back and say what it will be.
Is I have not played Rebirth, so I can't say. Like I've seen stuff about it, but I can't call it my game of the year if I haven't played it. So since I don't care about anything else, Astrobot would be my default. But it is a great game. Astrobot is a fantastic game.
Okay.
Um, Listen though, if we're talking about the one I think is gonna win, I think Jeff Keighley, stupid fucking Jeff Keighley, specifically created this DLC rule just so he could shove Shadow of the Erdtree in there. I think that's it. I think Elden Ring's gonna win.
Mm, I'm gonna have some things to say and some reactions if
No
that
one's
mess
gonna be happy.
actually
No
happens.
one is gonna be happy if it wins. But the fact of the matter is, Zar, do you really think it's a coincidence that they introduced this rule and they also have they introduce this rule and then at the same time they do this. You know what I'm
And
trying
I
to say?
think
Sorry.
technically the rule was introduced earlier this year, but it's the first to our public knowledge that it is a rule because of the updated Q&As that they did at the last second, which makes it seem really sketchy. Oh, my
Dumb.
personal game of the year out of this list is going to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Well, I think will actually win the whole thing. I'm pulling. I think a dark horse is going to win this one, Steven. Not Shadow of the Entry. Forget that mess. Can't support that. I'm saying Metaphor might sneak out of here with one. I think so. I,
We'll see,
I think there's
but
been a
I
lot of
don't
buzz,
know.
but honestly, out of all six of these, I'm okay with Metaphor, Final Fantasy, or Astrobot taking the win for those. Because they're also like some of the highest rated stuff on Metacritic as well. I'm okay with any one of those three winning game of the year. I won't be mad. But I'll be feeling some kind of way if Black Myth, Wukong, or Balatro also wins. But I ain't gonna feel nearly as bad if Elden Ring, the DLC, wins this whole thing. That's gonna have me fuming at the mountain. I'm gonna be like, what the actual freak?
Yeah, my reaction.
So
Except I
honestly,
won't be saying freak.
yeah. So honestly, with all that being said, let's talk about the elephant in the room. We already addressed it a little bit though, but the fact that they're considering DLC to be part of Game of the Year. Look, Jeff Keighley, I know you ain't listening to this, but you need to listen. You need to stop doing this category and putting in DLC up in here. Nip it in the bud before this becomes a reality that we have to work with every single year. Look, you have best ongoing game. Maybe that's reserved for like your Final Fantasy 14s, your Fortnites, and stuff like that. But I think you should really create a category that's just literally called DLCs and slash or expansions, because we get so many DLCs and expansion stuff that I feel like that can be its own category. And then most of the time, remake games don't typically win Game of the Year stuff. Make a category just for remakes, because that's just where the industry is kind of going towards now. It's like you'll get a handful of like brand new games though, but a lot of games are remakes nowadays though. Like Silent Hill 2 was one, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth was another one. Persona 3 Reload, which honestly could have been up in this category had it not been for stupid the DLC up in here though. There's a good amount of remakes that are made year after year. I feel like we gotta shine some kind of spotlight on it though. So he needs to introduce that category. I don't know what he's thinking of. All right, Steven.
Yeah.
I think that's it from our soap opera box.
Oh my
You have
god.
anything else to say up
No.
on all of this?
No, it's just that Game of the Year is so fucking boring of a category.
I mean, I usually like it. Like in some past years, we had some interesting runoffs and stuff. But like
Yeah, but
this
I
year,
think
we just have too much
when
controversy. We had three good games up in here.
yeah, I think the more that they do Game of the Year, the less interesting it gets. Because well, last year what we had fucking wasn't it last year where we had Hideo Kojima come up on stage and say
Oh,
nothing
and he
for
spent
10 minutes?
5 minutes up on that thing, even though none of his games were nominated
Yeah, it's
or
just boring.
well, no, maybe something was nominated, but it wasn't like for the actual game of the year or what led up to that point.
It was
I
just for
don't
him
know.
to advertise and like reveal this new thing because Jeff Keighley has a hard on for him, I guess.
I don't know, man. The day that that game comes out, oh gosh, everybody and their mama just better be prepared for that man to simp. I don't know. Anyway, whether it be the adaptation thing, because I think they're doing an adaptation like a movie related show thing. Like I think they got that in the works along with a game or something like that. But the day that that happens, oh my goodness. All right. Well, we went through all of the categories for the nominees for Game of the Year, and there's some good spread of games up in here though. But we'll see how all of this stuff plays out. Most importantly, it's always about the nominations, but the other half of it is, the game reveals and stuff. I mean, there's the stuff that lines up Jeff Keighley's pockets and stuff, though. I'm not really going into the show expecting much in terms of like a cool announcement trailer. Like in the past, we got like some stuff for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and stuff, which I like that. But like honestly, I don't know what to expect in terms of a game announcement in this. Well, the only one I probably can make a safe bet up on is Monster Hunter Wilds. They're gonna show that somewhere up in this mug. It's been everywhere since I think roughly around that E3 ish time that we had during the summer.
Surprised it's not in most anticipated game.
No, it is.
Wilds. Okay, then I just missed that. Sorry.
No, yeah, I mentioned that. I said that was a good category of games right there. I couldn't argue with much of any of them. Um, but yeah, that basically does it in terms of all of our selections, though. So we'll see what wins and stuff. In terms of my plans for the Game Awards and stuff, I think I may stream it. I should get off of work on time where I'll probably will just. I still like sitting down and watching it, even if it's just us just being in a call in Discord and just talking about it. I know
I
Yoshi ain't
probably
watching
will.
it though, so yeah. So maybe I'll host it and we'll just talk about the stuff and stuff. I don't know. I might just have my Switch out on the side and keep playing some other games on the side though, especially if it's a segment I don't really care about though. But you know, they always typically have some fun things. I don't think we're gonna have the Bill Clinton kid thing pop up. What was that? 2 years ago, Steven?
Yeah.
Oh goodness. No, we shouldn't have nothing wild like that. All the security's uptight though. But please, for all things good, Jeff, do not hold up the sign that says wrap it up. We can't do this, miss. No, don't do that, miss. Hopefully he heard about that. Let them people talk. And don't let uh oh gosh, whatever that dude's name, go up there and talk for 5 minutes over like a bunch of nonsense though. All right,
Yeah.
Steven. Well, that basically does in terms of all the gaming related news stuff, though. So I guess by the time we have the next episode, the awards will happen. We'll be going through all of the winners and announcements that were made at the show. And that's honestly going to be like the whole meat and potatoes of the next episode because I doubt anything else major will happen within the next span of 2 weeks. If something does happen, we'll report on it, though. But that, in terms of what you can expect in the next episode, it's going to be all dedicated towards this. All right, Steven. Well, with all of that being said, we'll move on to the last segment of the night, that being what you've been playing. All right, Steven. So it's been another couple of weeks and stuff. We're getting closer to the holidays where I feel like I'll be able to put a little bit more time up into everything though. But what have you been going through and playing lately?
I was playing some Mario and Luigi Brothership on and off. It's a long game, man.
Man, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and just throw this out here. I really didn't want to say this, but I gotta talk about this boy. Mario and Luigi Brothership. I was looking forward to this game. I truly was. And for the almost 5 hours I've been going through and playing through the game thus far, because the game's like a almost a 40-ish hour game. The fact that it took 3 whole hours before you can have brother moves unlocked already rubbed me off the wrong way. And then the fact that you're bouncing around all these different islands and stuff, and you're just doing like a little bit of stuff here and there, connecting the island to your main ship, and then just keep exploring the seas. I'm just not a fan of that loop. I like some of the gameplay aspects, don't get me wrong, but then at the other time with the execution and stuff about like how long it takes for you to actually get in the battle, that kind of kills my mood. So I'm gonna probably try this game out one more time. And if I'm not feeling it, I never thought I would drop a Mario and Luigi game. I might just do that. I'm sorry.
I completely understand that it's a controversial game.
I mean, now that IGN 5 out of 10 ain't looking so wild now, I don't know. Maybe he was feeling like me. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, but I think outside of that, I was playing Splatoon because I mean that's just my usual go-to. I always like doing that, and honestly, I think that's oh oh man, I'm tired. I'm already yawning. No, I think those are most of my go-tos because literally November is like one of my most heaviest months of the year because not only was I trying to make videos for everything y'all were able to watch in the month of November. I had to stack everything up for December and part way into January, and just so I can take most of December off, albeit except for any Game Awards coverage and anything with the podcast. But man, I finally managed to get done almost to the finish line. Like this should be like my last. Oh yeah, this should be like my last work podcast. Oh my gosh, I said in terms of the podcast, last working week in terms of me working with the stuff in the with most of my YouTube videos and stuff. So hopefully I'll be able to actually open up my schedule a little bit more so I can play a little bit more things though. But between all those Black Friday pickups and stuff, I'm actually looking forward to playing games such as like Metaphor Repainted Zero and stuff like that though. But was there anything else you were playing, Steven?
Not really. I played Fortnite today because they
Oh,
did a new season.
what the
Godzilla's
heck
going to be
happened?
added to the game soon.
I think Discord was messing up. What were you saying, Steven?
Can you hear me?
Oh, I might have had you turned down or whatever. Say that one more time.
Can you hear me?
Wait, what the? Okay, hold on. So y'all might have heard him on y'all side. I didn't hear him on my side. There's something weird and funky going on with my headphones, I think. I'm trying to figure out what the heck is going on over here. Say something again, Steven. Hmm. I do not know. Hold on, let me double check a few things over here. Okay, so y'all are still able to hear me on my side. On my side, it's Steven, I think, that hasn't been able to say anything lately.
You there, Zard?
Okay, there you go. Oh my goodness. I don't know what Discord is on. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. No, I thought it was on my end. I joined in and joined back out, and then I was still fine. And checked the stream; it was still fine. Discord's just on one tonight. I don't know. But I was saying, what were you? What else were you going through and playing lately?
I was going through and playing Fortnite because they're on a new season right now, new chapter of the game. They added Godzilla. Oh, they're adding Godzilla next month, but like they added a bunch of it's like traditionally Japanese themed this season. It's got Baymax from Big Hero 6 in it. It's got a
Okay,
lot of cool shit in the season, so I
that's
played
the
that
one
a
that
little
you
today.
and Sonic were going through and playing lately, wasn't it?
Yes. Well, this season just came out today.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's good. I haven't really been playing a lot. I've been playing occasionally Rivals of Ether 2, but that's been the last few weeks I've been playing that. It's been a kind of slow week as I just chip away at Mario and Luigi.
Okay. All right. Well, keep me updated in terms of like how you've been feeling on Mario and Luigi though, because honestly, this might be my last week, whether I like it or not, with that one game. Man, I don't know how
I am
they
back and
dropped the
forth.
ball on that one. Oh,
I'm back and forth. When it's good, it's good. When it's boring, it's boring.
I feel like it's kind of fetch quetchy ish, and that's what I also heard from Sonic U as well. And I'm like, oh goodness.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, anything else that you wanted to talk about during this segment? Because somehow we managed to fill this show up with 2 hours. I said it was already lighter, but we talked about the Black Friday stuff for a hot minute though, and I knew the Game Awards stuff was going to fill it up though. But anything else in terms of what you've been playing and stuff? Because at least in terms of the future, in terms of like upcoming games, not a lot of crazy stuff is coming out, or at least
No,
games
I
that I
think
know we were going to get. Besides maybe Donkey Kong that being in January, but.
no, I think that's all.
Alrighty. Well then, Stephen, we made it through another episode of the podcast. Though, man, 93 episodes in. We're slowly inching our way up to that 100th episode. Ooh, man, it's crazy how long I've been doing this thing though. But like always, Stephen, let the fine people know where they can find you at.
You can find me on twitter.com/Steven Jr. or at Steven Jr. 1231. Or you can find me on a collab channel I do with some friends called Spaghetti Disco on YouTube.
Alrighty, y'all. And that is basically going to do it in terms of my episode 93. So if you happen to be listening to this on the YouTube side of things, make sure you're going to hit that like button, go in and hit that subscribe button and that bell. That way you stay up to date. All things video game related, I feel like talking about and discussing. If you haven't been listening to this on the audio side of things, though, make sure you go ahead and leave a 5-star review. Let people know exactly, there's a couple of dudes that's just going through and talking about pop culture related stuff, gaming related stuff, and everything else in between. Just a little bit of a heads up in terms of how I'm going to handle the podcast series. from this point forward into the end of 2024, we will be back on the 15th, so the traditional 2 weeks from now. We will be back to record the last live show of the ZardCast podcast, and then that'll be primarily just going over the Game Award announcements and nominees and all of that. And then some point later, probably like 3 or 4 days before Christmas, I'll throw out a special holiday episode that will be pre-recorded, and we'll just kind of do the traditional stuff about the holidays, how we feel about that, any other potential gaming stuff that might have popped up or anything here and there. No, reflecting on 2024, that whole kind of yada 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 spill though. That'll be a pre-recorded show a few days before Christmas or something like that, and that will basically do it in terms of episodes until we get to January, which that would technically be the first. I'm trying to look back at my calendar over here though. Eh,
Yeah.
it's like one of the first Sundays, one of the first couple of Sundays in the month of January or whatever though. But I'll remind y'all on that for sure by the next episode. But yeah, that's just kind of an outlook on the podcast stuff though. So one more live episode that we'll have in 2 weeks from now in terms of 2024 before the holiday special when I drop that recording out. So that's gonna basically do it in terms of this episode right here though. So remember y'all, until our video I make next, and for my next episode, that being my ZardCast episode 94, I'll see y'all later.